Magnetic field produced by the solenoid. A solenoid is a thin long wire wound around an element. This thin material will help conduct electric current in the system. An instant electric field is created when the current is passed over it. This, in turn, produces a magnetic field. A solenoid produces a magnetic field because it uses simple means, unlike the rest. It converts electric current into mechanical, for instance, in a switch. Inside a switch, a solenoid converts the electric current into mechanical action. Solenoid depends on the magnetic field produced and the number of its turns. In this kind of element called solenoid, it is possible to resolve to reverse the magnetic field that is produced by passing electricity. Which of the method applied to produce the magnetic field? Fundamentally, three different methods produce magnetic fields. Permanent magnets, electromagnets, Earth's magnetic field. Permanent magnets. Permanent magnets are magnetized elements using electric current when a material is wound around an element. A permanent magnet is made by striking a ferromagnetic material or two magnets. For example, two magnets are taken and made to face opposite poles. When the ends of the magnets are beaten to high temperature, it finally becomes a permanent magnet. The magnetic field in a particular system can also be created by the use of a permanent magnet. This permanent magnet creates a force on other magnets and creates an instant magnetic field. Magnets by Stephen M. is licensed under CC by 2.0 electromagnets. In this type of element, an electric current is passed over the elements so that it gets magnetized instantly. The conventional current is created when the heat escapes from the system, through which the electric field is produced. One of the few reasons for the magnetic field production in an element is due to the presence of electric field. An advantage to be noted is that an electric field is a cause for the magnetic field to be produced in this electromagnet. The use of the electromagnet can control the magnetic field produced in an element. At certain times, the permanent magnet creates a good magnetic field. It is also strong enough, but it becomes weak when used in specific materials and requires intense magnetic flux. At this point, the aid of electromagnet comes into act. The advantage of electromagnet over a permanent magnet is that the magnetic field is created is much stronger. In an electromagnet, electricity is applied to create a stronger magnetic field. The word electromagnet itself defines an electric current and magnetic field. How is the magnetic field produced? The question most asked, and the above explanation does the justice. Earth's magnetic field. This has the strongest fields compared to the other conventional field inside the Earth. It is caused by solidifying the liquid iron core of the Earth. We all know that the magnetic fields are stronger at the poles. It is much stronger when it comes to the Earth's magnetic field. Like any other magnetic field, even the Earth's magnetic field is maintained and controlled. Geodynamo controls and maintains the magnetic field of the Earth. How is magnetic field created in an electromagnet? It is evident from all the studies that an electromagnet is way more convenient than any other magnet to produce a strong magnetic field. Simple, because other magnets produce a magnetic field, but we don't know. Hence we chose a safer method to produce the magnetic field. A temporary magnet produces a magnetic field, but is weak and of no use. Hence here the use of a permanent magnet comes into act, from which a proper magnetic field is created. The magnetic field is weak, so it can be applied to any system. Hence electromagnet always comes to the rescue of producing a much stronger magnetic field. This type of electricity is employed to create much stronger magnetic flux lines. Process behind producing a magnetic field using an electromagnet. Firstly, we need to be aware of how is an electromagnet made. The process is simple. We must take an element over which a wire is wound around. This wire is called a solenoid. The solenoid is a simple thin long wire with n number of turns. This material is wound around a conducting element, and when the electric current is passed through it, an instant electric field is produced. The process behind it is, the electric current is passed over the wound material since it is in circularly wound, and when current is applied, it produces the magnetic flux. The magnetic field lines are in circular mode. Finally, a magnetic field is produced via a current-conducting material with a solenoid wound. How are magnetic fields created in planets? The molten liquid generally produces a magnetic field in planets in the core of the planet and the planet's motion. A magnetic field is easily created since a liquid iron is present in the planet's core. Like any other magnets, planets do have poles. These poles are the reason for the attractive and repellent force present. Like any other magnetic field production by producing electric current, similarly the same on planets too. The electricity in planets is produced when the liquid present at the planet's core is churned every time. This electricity created produces a magnetic field on the planet. The magnetic field in the planets acts as an extensive bar magnet. It is also the reason for the rotational axis of the planets. Why are magnets always dipoles? It is universal that there is something called north and south, east and west. Our Earth consists of north and south poles, and the horizontal is called the equator and not as east and west. Likewise, another element that has a north pole and south pole is called as magnet. As far as science is considered, monopole seems not to exist. And a magnet cannot be made without two poles. Magnets are particularly has as a dipole existence due to the fact that the ends of the magnet have been named as north and south poles respectively. Another point to be remembered is that poles repel and unlike poles attract. From this very fact, there arises a term called a magnetic dipole. A magnetic dipole is the analogy of an electric dipole, in which there are opposite charges at the ends of the electric dipole. The dipole is the reason for a closed loop in any magnetic system. How is magnetic field produced on Earth? Earth is the giant magnet of all times. The reason behind it is the magnetic fields produced on the Earth are much stronger than the conventional ones. On every planet, there is a molten liquid of a particular metal. Likewise, liquid molten iron ore is present in the Earth's core. This liquid reacts with the motion of the Earth, creating a stronger magnetic field. The movement of these liquids and churning of them creates strong electricity. This electricity is one of the main reasons for how magnetic field is produced on Earth. Earth acts as the giant bar magnet to manage the magnetic field by itself. It is also the reason behind the Earth's rotation from its axis. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.